Hello. So it's actually been quite a while since I've been able to record a video, but because I batch recorded, I had plenty still going out. So you may not have known, but I've actually been dying in bed for the past 4 days or so. And so what I actually want to talk about in this video is we may not always get what we want, but we absolutely always get what we need. And this is something I've really come to recognize and live by over the years, and something that I'm constantly being reminded of. And this weekend just really kicked me back into that remembrance. So I don't know if you can tell. I can tell. My face is a little bit swollen. This has actually gone down so much. Like I can actually open my mouth and talk again today, and I feel like a normal human. The last 3 days, I don't even know what happened. But anyway, so I'm in Italy and I got a bit of an ear infection, kind of a natural thing to expect after sticking my head inside speakers for 6 days at a festival in Croatia and then jumping on a plane and my ears popping really badly and then going swimming multiple times the days after and being in the sunshine and just letting my body get completely run down. So I got an ear infection, but what was like more painful was like the swelling of the nodes. It's like it got really swollen because it's obviously trying to fight the infection. And so I was trying to do what I usually do and just be like, I don't need medicine. I'm not going to the doctors. I'm just gonna fight this myself. My body is strong. I have all the tools I need. And it seemed like that was working for a few days. And then I had decided to like go out on an adventure day, which was also, gosh, so much has happened since I last recorded a video. So this adventure day, I went to Siracusa, which is a town about an hour from here by train, and went there. It's like this really beautiful seaside, incredible, like full Sicilian experience. You get there and you're just in this other world. It's got myth, it's got magic, it's got history, it's got spirit, it's got caves. Like I did a little boat trip into these caves, and the water's just incredible. There's like this Apollo temple. And then the markets, oh my God, the markets are just so lively. And there was this Salumaria, which was just like pure heaven. So I had this really beautiful day and I was loving exploring that. I was like, yes, I'm getting the full Sicily experience, because I felt like I love Catania, it's beautiful, but I felt like it's not as lively as Palermo, which I loved being in last year. And so I got to sit a course that, and I was like, oh my God, it's kind of like being in Palermo, but on a smaller scale. So I really loved that. And then the swelling was starting to get quite bad while I was out and about. And I was like, I'm going to push through. I'm going to catch the bus to Noto and go to this other town because I'm here and it's close and I'm not going to do it another day. So this is like a bit further, like an hour further on. And it's like this really beautiful town that's got all these old Baroque style buildings, and it's just really nice. And so I had to catch a bus because there's no trains running there at the moment. Got on the bus, got there. By the time I got there, I was like, this was a really dumb idea. Like my neck is pounding. And I just walked around, took some photos of the buildings, and then I was like, the next bus comes at 6:30. I'm just gonna walk to the bus stop and just wait for the bus. Like I don't even care anymore. I just want to get home. I also did stop in a pharmacy to see if they could give me anything, and he's like, you need to see a doctor. So, but he did give me some painkillers. I took some painkillers and then went on my way and was like, yes, I'm just going to be early. I'm going to get back to the bus stop. It's going to all be great. Got completely lost. My phone was dying. I had no idea where I was. I actually ended up on like the outskirts because the trains don't run. And where the bus dropped us off wasn't at the train station, but that's where my map kept telling me to go. And me not really thinking about it when I got off the bus, I didn't actually take note of the street address or location where it dropped us off. And so I was trying to get my maps to take me somewhere, but didn't actually know where I had to go. So I ended up like behind the train station in this really like out of bounds farm, like definitely not in town. And was starting to freak out because my phone was dying, and I went from having like 40 minutes to get to the train to then a bus to then being like, oh no, it's coming in 10 minutes and I'm lost and I have no idea where to go. And I could just keep walking, but I still don't know where I'm going to end up. And then I started getting chased by dogs, and it was like full Wolf Creek vibes. If you're in Australia and you've watched Wolf Creek, like that's what was running through my mind. I was like, I am about to get killed. And then like I'd walked past this shed and there was this man in there tending to a horse, and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to go and speak to him, and his dogs are chasing me, and what on earth is gonna happen? And so I went there, and thank God I know enough Italian to kind of explain my situation, and was freaking out, and he like gave me water and offered me coffee and food and stuff. I was like, I just want to get to where I need to go. So we chatted a little bit, and I was like, my nonna's from Sicily, and we were just having a little bit of a chat, and I was feeling really chuffed that I could actually like speak to a local, because in shops and stuff you can generally get by because they tend to have English, but this was like a full-blown local on the outskirts of town. He had no English, and we could understand each other, and I was like, oh yes, my Italian is good. Anyway, so he then leads me to walk over the train line back to town because the trains aren't running. So he's like, you can just walk on the train line, it's fine. So I was like, oh, yes, great. So I did that and got back to town. Still had no idea where I was going to catch the bus from, though, but then got really lucky. And as I was just walking aimlessly, I saw the bus coming down the hill, and I flagged it down and chased after it, and it stopped for me and let me on, even though I had no ticket. And I got to where I needed to go, and end of the story, it all worked out fine. And that wasn't even the point of this video, but it kind of ties in with the theme of you don't always get what you want, but you definitely get what you need. And so that day I got confirmation that I'm really divinely guided and I'm always protected. And no matter what obstacles get thrown my way, I'm always supported, I'm always held. I can always trust that there's people, support, things around me that will help me to get to where I need to go. And the destination may get messy, or like the journey may get messy sometimes, but I'll always end up where I'm meant to be. And that's kind of what then unfolded after that day, because I was like, okay, I actually need to do so. Like I woke up on the Friday and I was like, this infection isn't just going to go away on its own. Like I actually need to do something about this. And so I was like, well, how on earth am I going to get to see a doctor in Italy? Like I don't have my Italian passport. I'm not a local. What am I going to do? And I started doing some research, and I found that you can do like these online video appointments and get a script from a doctor online. And so I did that, literally had a call for like 5 minutes. He instantly confirmed what I was already thinking it was, but then I had gone down rabbit holes of like, oh my God, it could be this or it could be this. And oh my God, I'm freaking myself out. But he confirmed it was what I thought it was, just an ear infection, and prescribed me some antibiotics. And now, if you know me, you know how anti-mainstream medicine and big pharma I am. So I resist this kind of medication at all costs. I couldn't even tell you the last time I put antibiotics in my body. But this time something was telling me like, you just need to trust that that this medicine is going to help you. Don't see it as the enemy. Allow it to do what it needs to do, because your body is telling you that this is what's required right now. And I'm not at home where I'm just happy to like lay around for 2 weeks if that's what it takes. I was like, I'm in Italy. I want to enjoy being in Italy. And so there was this part of me that's like, okay, do the thing that's going to help you heal the fastest. And so got the prescription, walked to the pharmacy. Thank God there was one like 10-minute walk away. Picked it up, came home. There was a guy downstairs with giant watermelons, and I bought one of those. I was like, yes, I'm gonna eat watermelon for days, because I think that's the other thing. I've been living off like granitas and street food, and was like, oh yeah, when's the last time I actually put some fresh fruit and vegetables in my body? Don't know. So it was just a very good reminder of all the ways that my body needs me to take good care of it, and the ways I've potentially been neglecting it while I've been here. And oh my God, having a watermelon in the fridge and just like spoon feeding myself watermelon the last few days has been an absolute lifesaver. So basically, from then Friday until today, I have not left this apartment. I realized I could get food delivered here, so I was really like wanting like a nonna to make me brodo. I was like, I just go door knocking and find a nonna. But I ended up getting dal, was the closest thing I could find delivered. So I was like, oh, some nourishment. Restaurants don't make brodo, they just cater to the tourists. But anyway, I've spent the last 3 days in this apartment going through some giant purging, ancestral lineage. Like, I can't even begin to tell you the things that came to me and the visions I've had in the last few days, because I've just allowed myself to fully rest and lean into there was something that was needing to be shared with me while I'm here. And like, so I was planning to go to Mount Etna yesterday, and I decided to postpone it because I thought I'm not going to be well enough. And so I'm going tomorrow instead. And yesterday was one of the most intense days of all. So Friday, I was kind of just like in and out of bed. Saturday, I had some intensity, like visits from goddesses and the underworld, and like all of these things that I tend to see when I put myself in these kind of experiences where I'm just allowing myself to be present with my body and what it wants to tell me. And I kind of had this feeling that being in Sicily was going to have some big transformative experience. Like, I came here for that reason, to do ancestral healing and to connect to my lineage. And I know that there's trauma and suffering and struggle that has happened in my lineage. Like, my nonna fled Italy after the war. My great nonna lost her husband during the war, and there was all this scandal and things that happened with the family. And then I don't know what happened before them, but that's just 2 generations of known trauma that I know. And then there's like all the generations before that. I'm 100% certain that there's ties to Sicilian witches. Like, when I've done research about this land and about Sicily, there's this strong connection to, they're called the Donna de Fuera and then Streghiera. Like, I feel it in my blood. And so there were moments throughout the past few days where I actually felt like, because this swelling was actually like coming all across my neck, it was way worse. Saturday was the worst. It was like fully choking me. And there was this moment where I was like, oh my God, like I'm literally sitting in the fires of hell. But it was like the noose around my neck, and like feeling that pain and that suffering of the witches being burnt at the stake. Like, I've felt this before, and this was probably one of the most intense times I felt it. And it's kind of no surprise either that I've got Etna in the distance looming over me, sparking ash all over me. Like there's this fiery volcano, and I'm sitting here feeling that fiery intensity of what's happened perhaps in my lineage or my past lives. And so there was so much purging and so much clearing happening. And funnily enough, it coincides with the full moon, which was also a lot around these themes. And yeah, like I just felt like obviously it's not the way I wanted to experience Sicily and not the way I wanted to connect to my lineage and my ancestry. I wanted to be going out to sites and like feeling the land and connecting with it and being and seeing what messages the land wanted to give me. And actually, all I needed to do was just surrender into stillness and like just touch this thing, and be like, every time I did that, like in the moments when the pain was the most excruciating, I'd just sit and I'd just touch it and be like, what are you trying to tell me? What am I not hearing? What do I need to listen to? Because ear infection, listening, hearing, left side, matriarchal lineage. And every time I did that, I just got different messages of like breaking the curses of my lineage. And like it was really interesting last night as well, because as I was in bed, I was feeling this, and I was in another of those really intense bouts of like hot sweats. And I started like speaking in ancient tongues and then singing. And each time I sung a different note, I'd touch a different point. And as I was touching it and as I was singing, the swelling just completely disappeared. It came back when I woke up. But in that moment, I felt the power of the touch and the healing touch that we have, and like just remembering those things that we carry deep within us, that ancient magical wisdom. And like I could sense that my tears were going to support it. And so I was taking my tears and rubbing them and like taking that salt and rubbing it on the womb, and it just all felt so natural. Like I just knew what to do in my body. And this is what happens. And this is, I feel like, a really deep remembrance of what I'm here to do. Like a lot of the messages that were coming through to me over the weekend as well was like, my work isn't just to teach people about systems. My work is to teach people to be themselves and be so supported that you can go out and do these kinds of things, whether it's traveling. Like for me, it's not even just about traveling to travel, it's traveling to connect to land, to connect to lineage, to connect to myth and history, and to do this transformational work that just really does ripple out over the world. Like, and that's what I was feeling over the weekend as well, was like, what's truly deeply important to me. It is temple culture, it is eros, it is art, it is magic, it is myth, it is history, it is land, it is earth. It is truly owning that I am a witch. I don't want to deny that, and I have been denying that in recent months because I've been scared of how that ties in with business. And it doesn't make me look like a professional businesswoman if I'm here claiming I'm a witch. Like there's still that deep conditioning around it and fear of it. And when I was running in certain circles in recent years, I was so open with it. And then it's like going back to Perth, it really suppressed it again, because it's not a place where it's welcome. It's not a place where I'm surrounded by other people who are expressing that and embodying that. And so I felt myself shut those parts of me down. And what I really felt this weekend was this reclamation of, this is who I'm here to be. And the reason all of this happened is because I've been denying it. And it was like this reclamation of my power and my purpose and my mission, and anchoring that deeper in my body and deeper in the wisdom. So that's just a little bit of a breakdown of what's been happening in my world. Yeah, and just really truly coming to that place also of like deeply acknowledging my message. Like, I've obviously spoken a lot about how systems create freedom and how we should be able to take breaks from our work without feeling guilty, and we should be able to take breaks from our work and still know we're supported. And I think what this weekend was for me was a deep reminder of that, and a deeper calibration of, yes, this message is the truth. This message is going to ripple out to more people. And the group community that I'm about to open, it's not just a place to come and learn about systems. It's a place to go deep, to really merge with our full selves and bring our essence online, and not be afraid of shadows, not be afraid of the darkness. Like, embrace that, embrace who we are, so we can shine our light brighter on the world, because that is what's important right now. And that is what I'm here to serve. And so sometimes it feels confusing, and sometimes it looks messy, and I'm like, oh my God, like, how do I package this? But you just have to be yourself and bring your essence to the world, and trust that that's enough. And that is what I'm here to serve, and that is who I'm here to help: people who feel the call of the mystic and the magic, and understand that there needs to be that marriage of both. If you have this wisdom, if you are deeply embodied and deeply connected to the art and the culture and the mythos and the magic and the mysticism, you are the people who I deeply feel connected to, and the people that I've always wanted to support and always have supported. But this feels like a way that we can actually reciprocate in a lot better way, because it's not me doing everything and then feeling resentful because I'm not getting paid. This is a way that I can open my doors and expand my services to more people who I know need this stuff, and do it in a way that I get to support the missions and visions that I really truly believe in. So if any of that resonates at all, then come and message me, connect with me, DM me, like, let's chat and see how we can work together, because I would love to support you to reach more people and to take back your freedom too, because I know from what I've witnessed from working with all of these kinds of people over the years, is a lot of it is not being done in a sustainable way. And what I'm really here to do is help you make your business sustainable, build the systems to really support you to have the freedom to keep living this mission and keep embodying this vision and keep spreading this wisdom, because the world needs this so, so much. Thank you for being here, as always, and I'll see you again soon.